Welcome to Portraits in Music from the Richardson Symphony Orchestra. I'm Shauna Morin, Director of Audience Development. Together with Music Director Clay Couturier, we will take you behind the scenes for inspiring conversations with our guest artists and a closer look of what makes the symphony come alive. Whether you're a longtime concert goer or just curious about orchestral music, you'll find something special here. This is your backstage pass to the stories, creativity, and passion at the heart of the Richardson Symphony. Welcome back to those of you who have been here with us before, and welcome to those of you who are new to Portraits in Music. I am Shauna Morin, I am your co-host.
And I'm Clay Couturier, Music Director and Conductor.
Today we are really excited. We're going to dive in and go a little bit different. We're jumping off the stage and we're going to showcase a little bit of what we actually do within our community, for our community, and the importance of it.
Yeah, community engagement is what the orchestra is all about. Of course, we give our concerts on the stage, but how we interact with everybody in Richardson and even outside sometimes is of crucial importance to us.
Absolutely. Just in general, a lot of people don't really understand that orchestras, the most of the work that we do is actually off stage compared to our on stage work. Yes, obviously we have rehearsals, we have all of our different concerts that we do, but our work that we do on the ground outside of the performance hall is just as important as what we do on.
If you think about it, our musicians live in the area, whether it's within the boundaries of Richardson or certainly within the Metroplex. And they are community citizens, and they live here, they work here, and so in a way it's giving back, but it's also a part of the job of a musician to go outside of the concert hall and be a part of the community. Whether it's we're going to talk about several of these, but it's whether it's playing in small groups, playing in hospitals, things of that nature.
Absolutely. And I think it's nice to have the two of us on here because I come from the administrative side, you have obviously the musical side part of it, and just how both of our views compare, like how we can combine together and what really creates this whole functionality of what we do here at the symphony. Specifically from my point of view, I do a lot with our community engagement and education programming, and it is really a passion for me. It's what I love, being able to bring what we do into areas where it's easier and more accessible for those who maybe can't come to the concert hall. It's just not something that they're capable or able to do. But yeah, we're going to dive right on in. We're going to talk a lot about what we do, and it's really beautiful to be able to give back.
It's amazing to me to see how music can enrich people's lives throughout their lives every day. I mean, you hear, whether you know it or not, you're hearing music of some sort every day of your life. Whether it's even going to the grocery store, there's music in the background, or of course any TV show or movie that you watch, there's music involved. I would say radio, but people don't have radio as much as they do other formats of radio, online and things like that. But you're hearing it every day of your life, and so for musicians can help you recognize that you're doing that and what it means to your life that you when music's a part of it.
Definitely. I mean, even if you go to sporting events, Clay and I are both huge sports fans, so we like to talk sports, but you go to the Rangers and you'll hear the organ play.
Yes.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game is always done with an organ. So it's no matter what you do, you're always
the national anthem.
Yes.
Every aspect of the game, of life, it's always there.
Yeah, so music is just really important, and for us to be able to provide that and bring that in a different aspect, and I'm really excited for Clay to share a lot about these because he has some really fun stories about what he gets to do in his role in this. I think one of my favorite ones we just started, and it's definitely our fastest growing community engagement opportunity that we do have, and it's very heartwarming. It's called Healing Notes. We are taking musicians, so we take quartets, we take duos, trios, into mental health facilities, memory care facilities, assisted living. We work a lot with the network of community ministries here in Richardson, and we will go in and will provide music for their different people, the senior center. So it's always for me, I think, because I get to be on the ground with Faith in doing that. And especially at the memory care facilities, you go and it can be very challenging, especially if you're not used to being around people with dementia or Alzheimer's and those who are really struggling to gather memories, and it is a hard time to go through. But when you bring the music to them,
the power of music is amazing. Glenn Campbell, the famous country western artist, had Alzheimer's and eventually died from that. And he, grew up and performed for so long. The music had impact in his life, even during that struggle. In fact, when he was barely able to communicate at times, they would give him his guitar and he could still play. He could still perform and play, and the words and song and everything would still come back. And it was like he was there. That part of him, and he could engage. And soon thereafter, after performing and the music started to leave him, he would go back to what Alzheimer's does at times. And that didn't last. I mean, in the end, of course, was the end. It didn't have, but it's amazing. Music touches a different part of the brain and the soul, I think, than even verbal communication and other types of communication. So that's just, I always go back to that when I think of the power of music.
Absolutely, and it's so fun. We've had people get up and dance, and our musicians think it's the cutest thing in the world. I think it's adorable. But
and they react off to that too when they're performing. They are collaborating with each other in a way.
I think some of my favorites is either because our musicians, they're so wonderful. All of our musicians who do these outreaches, it really does show their care for the communities that they do live in. And they talk, so it's not just all playing. They play. They have, of course, they have songs that will jog their memories, whether it's well-known classical pieces or music, actual like newer new age music from their generations and different genres. But they'll talk to them, they'll engage with them, they'll share tidbits, and yes, of course, when you're in a memory care facility, it's a lot of repeating the same things over and over again, but they love them. The patients who are there, the people who are living in these places, including their family, because a lot of the time their families are visiting, so they'll come and they'll join. But you can see them singing along, which is incredible. Just as
much as our patrons like to hear from our musicians and talk to them after concerts or so, these patients love to talk too, because if a musician says, I'm going to perform this piece for you, and this is what I love about it, and listen for this or something, they'll often say, that's interesting, I like it for that reason too, but I also like this, and they'll talk, it's a conversation back and forth with, if they're able to, of course, or they'll give an emotion, if they can't speak, they'll give an emotion of a response that it's exciting to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that was one of my favorite is there's this one lady who, of course, she doesn't recognize me, but I recognize her, and it's so adorable. Every time she is back there, she's conducting the musicians, and she's nonverbal, but she feels the power of the music, and it is healing.
Well, we have to remember they're as much as the part of the community as anyone else, and their lives are as important as all of ours, and we can share music to show that.
One of my other favorite community engagement things that we do, it's free for the public. We encourage everyone to come, and it's at the University of Texas at Dallas and Richardson, which is really fun. And Clay is fantastic at making it really exciting for everyone. It's things that everyone knows.
Well, it's going to be in October, so the weather's going to be beautiful by that time. And so you think outdoor concert, you can't think, oh, it's going to be hot. This is not the case here. The musicians love playing for the people outdoors, and it's a variety of repertoire, a lot of movie music. I love John Williams myself. If you ask me, what type of movie music do I like all types, but John Williams is one of the great composers of all time for film. And I'll give you a little snippet here. This year, 2025, is the 50th anniversary of the movie Jaws. So it's October, so it's kind of near Halloween, and Jaws is kind of scary a little bit. I'm not scaring off families or anything. This is just, but we'll play the theme to Jaws to commemorate that 50th anniversary. This summer, there's a new Superman movie coming out, so I thought we should have the theme, the Superman march that everybody knows. To me, it's the best superhero movie theme of all time. I don't care what anybody says. All the new Marvel and all of this DC stuff is great, but the Superman Christopher Reeve movies were great, and it's so great that even some of the Superman movies past Christopher Reeve still want to use that John Williams theme in their, because that's how people recognize Superman these days. And we can't do music without a little bit of Star Wars. So those are three of some of the John Williams selections that we'll be doing. But it's not all John Williams. We'll have some selections from West Side Story and Phantom of the Opera. So there'll be some musicals involved, and some light classical, part of the William Tell Overture. We might even have Carmen Dragon's arrangement of America the Beautiful, just to remind ourselves what the great country we live in.
It's great for families. It's free.
Yes, you can bring chairs, you can bring blankets, and just sit down, or however you want to relax.
Exactly, make a picnic out of it.
Yes.
But yeah, come and enjoy. We're gonna have things for kids. We'll have kids coloring stations.
Yes.
We're gonna have a kids conducting contest, which will be a lot of fun. We have some really cute little ribbons for these children.
And for even the younger kids, we'll have How to Train a Dragon, Your Dragon, right? How to Train
Such
Your
a good
Dragon.
movie.
Yeah. We'll have Happy, Pharrell Williams' Happy. So from the Despicable Me movies, and so there's a variety of music.
And it's fun to be able to collaborate with our local university. We love being able to get into a different place. Obviously, we perform at the Eisman Center all of the time, and so being able to get into a different kind of location.
And I think word's gotten out amongst the students at UTD, and we had some last year, and I think by this next fall, this next October, more and more will say, hey, you need to go to this.
We might outgrow the space eventually,
yes.
It sounds like.
That's a good problem to have.
It is a wonderful problem to have. So yeah, we really love to just be able to expand into our community. And that's just an easy way for us to be able to give back and say thank you and bring the music to a different location.
Yeah, you don't always have to come to us. We will come to you sometimes too.
Yes, we really do try, especially when it comes to our education programming. We've been doing this for 40 years now, which is incredible, but this is one I'm really excited for Clay to share with you all because he's so involved with it. And it's so funny. Definitely, if you have the opportunity to be a chaperone for this event, please do. But this is our Symphony Days program. It is our education program for third graders.
Yes.
It's a complete curriculum that we work together with the Richardson School District and the music teachers. So we provide classical education for these children, and our musicians will go into the school. They love the percussionist. Blaze is definitely the popular one. But of course, what kid doesn't like percussion?
Exactly. It's because there's so many different instruments involved, I think, and they can make noise too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can make all the noise that they
Make
want.
all the noise, and they're allowed to. They like that too. Yeah.
Exactly. And then accumulates at the end of it. We have a concert that we put on. So we ship in all the kids.
Mm-hmm. So our musicians have gone out, see everybody. We go out to you, and then you come to us, and it culminates in this concert.
Yeah, and so it gives our children the opportunity to go to a performance at least once at the Eisman Center, because we know that is not accessible for everyone.
Yes.
And so that's just another way that we can incorporate everyone in our community, especially the young minds, because it's so important.
I think it's fun for them to get to see the hall, whether they know it or not. They're going in and I ask many of them, this is their first time to ever see a symphony orchestra, and the excitement in their faces, and they can't hold it in sometimes. Our musicians on the stage, they love this concert because it's like a rock concert, they call it. I remember Leslie Daniel Newman, our principal flutist. It's like a rock concert because I have musicians come on stage at different times throughout the program, And each time a new musician comes on stage, they are just cheering for these musicians, and our musicians just thrive off that. They want to give back because, oh, you like this? And I'll explain. Well, it's really, the idea is the orchestra grows up. So we start with the music of Bach, where the earliest orchestras were formed, and we'll have just the strings on the stage. And I'll explain the string instruments themselves, the violin, the viola, the cello, the bass. We play with the bow, and we play with plucking the strings, so we show the different ways to play. Then we go to the next era of music, which is classical style, which is Mozart. So we add our wind players. And as the winds are coming on stage, that's when all the kids start cheering, and our musicians love that. Of course, the winds will look at the strings and say, we got a little more laughter, a little more cheering than you did. And they'll say, oh, really? And they'll play out. In the meantime, as we're doing that, and to give the musicians time to get on stage, I'll put on various hats. So I'll have a Bach wig on, and then I'll take that off and put a colonial-looking triangular hat for Mozart and Beethoven. The next composer is Beethoven. I have this wild hair. I think I got it from a Halloween shop. It was like for a rock band or something, but it looks like Beethoven, would do his hair at the time. And more musicians would come on, and we tell the story of the journey throughout the history of the symphony orchestra. It culminates with we go through Tchaikovsky, Stravinsky. And I end it with John Williams, usually some Star Wars or something like that. But it's just great to see the reaction of the kids, and I always like to tell them that their love of music, and that's good for any of us. Your love of music is something you can always keep with you, and no one will ever take that away from you.
Absolutely, and there's so much psychology and just neuroscience nowadays that supports. The earlier that you introduce music, but third grade especially, is like that. The timing before it gets too late. I don't think it's too late, but it adds more and bolsters more. But the long-term side effects of being able to, what it does for memory retention, ADHD focus, it really does help with a lot of the things that are struggles for kids nowadays in schools. And
I'll give you an inside tidbit here. When I said we start with Bach, it's about 3 to 3.5 minutes or so, and that's enough time for the children to enjoy before they start, focusing on something else. So that's when I bring other musicians. It's like a sorbet when the musicians come on. It's visual for them to see, and I change hats, and that's funny to them, the reaction of the hats. But the next excerpt is a little longer. And by the end, they're not realizing it, but they're listening to a longer, almost movement of work, and they're still engaged or loving it. So there's a lot involved in these programs.
It is, and it's so fun. I'm really excited to be able to watch it this year. Obviously, this will be my first year watching them, but I know, especially, I'm sure you've seen people, or have you witnessed other people come back from that, or have they recognized you in later years?
We've had people who've gone through the program and then end up becoming subscribers eventually, or get their families to subscribe too, and they'll say, we started by going to these concerts and it brought back a memory, or we enjoyed it and thought we want more of this. So I'm a big believer, if you can get them in the hall, people, and enjoy, and they understand once they're there, they understand what the symphony orchestra is all about, they'll fall in love with it.
Definitely. And I think one of the other fun things that we do, it's not really education related, but this year we had some of our musicians perform at Wildflower Festival.
Yes. Various acts or groups that Wildflower play, sometimes they need backup strings or different groups of musicians to play. That was this past year. And in years past, we've even had our own group come in, and we'll start like Ravel's Bolero, and we'll start with just the snare. We're just out amongst the people, and they'll just start with the snare. You've probably seen videos of this online, and then the flute will just start playing within, and out comes a trumpet, starts playing, and by the end, I'm with them, and we're all standing, and I'm conducting them, and with a big climax. But that's fun for the audience to be right in the orchestra because we're just walking outside with them. We've done that before too.
Yeah, I think it's so great for the community to see that kind of atmosphere and the excitement from the musicians, because when you're watching them in the audience on a stage, yes, it's really easy to be engaged, but when you can get up front and close and personal with the musicians, I think it adds just a little bit different of a flair to it, and it gives people a little more excitement.
It's when we did that, it reminded me that audience members don't often get the opportunity or know what it feels like to be inside the orchestra. What you hear within the orchestra is different than what you hear. Now, from a conductor standpoint, we always are saying, what does it sound like in the hall? It's the end result of what does it sound like. But I forget, you do this long enough, it's fascinating to audience people or people outside the orchestra how the orchestra works within and the details and what the cellos are hearing versus what the trombones on the other side of the stage. They want to know these intricacies that we just think it's work, but that's just the work part of the job. But trying to get what perfect for the audience. But they like all aspects of it.
Yeah, I think it's really fascinating. It's really interesting. One of the orchestras from Colorado, it's a smaller orchestra, but what they do is they actually make a circle and they have everyone in the middle. And so it's the whole orchestra playing around them. So it's just a completely different experience. That's what that reminded me of. So it's definitely fun. I think that was our flash mob year at Wildflower.
Yeah.
That we did that. But
that's right, that was.
I think that's an exciting way to just incorporate everyone. Maybe next time we can give some people some maracas. I heard we have a couple around here.
That's our new motto, throw a maraca.
Yes. We'll just get everyone involved. And we also really like to just involve our community. I know we've talked about it before on different episodes, but if not, this is a great place to talk about it, is the Ann and Charles Eisman International Young Artist Competition for strings and piano.
Yes.
We alternate every year. This year will be strings.
Yes.
It's a fun way to incorporate just our community. It is open for the community to come and witness these up and coming amazing musicians. They're incredible.
Yeah, we typically have the actual competition itself in late January. I don't have the date in front of me right now, but we'll get it to you again before it happens. And then the culmination of that is we pick the winners, and the grand prize winner gets to perform with the Richardson Symphony in our our March concert. And that's always fun. It's great to see world-class young talent from all around the world. They send in their resumes and their videos and their lists of repertoire, and there's rounds. Of the competition that happens, and the final round involves 3, sometimes 4 finalists who play the entire concerto. They have to play the entire, as if it were a performance with, the orchestra's not there. They'll have a pianist accompanist, but they have to play it like they're playing with an orchestra. And I always find that fascinating to hear what's going around worldwide as far as young talent is concerned.
Absolutely. And I think just as someone in the community, being able to come and experience that caliber of music, again, it's a free option. It's open to the public. And
you can, as a community member, can spend the whole day on the different rounds, and you develop this relationship with these young people. Everybody has their own opinion as to what they like about the music that they're hearing. And I've seen people make a little list of I like this about this person, and they're becoming their own judges per se, right? And they like to see how they are picking versus what the judges are too. And it can be subjective, of course, at times. And so it's fascinating. You can make a day of it.
I think for us on this end, it's really fun because we're still connected with some of these performers and competitors who have been, especially this last year's. Obviously, we had a massive snowstorm, so everyone was kind of just like juggling around trying to figure out how to get here. But it's incredible the lengths that these competitors will go to be able to come to this.
It's almost like their own network, because they all go to many different competitions and they know each other, and so you can see them engaging with each other. And some of them do engage with the the audience afterwards, or and so it's amazing to me too, because it's hard to perform. It's in front of people, and to compete is a different level. But I've noticed the respect. People could be cutthroat and mean towards each other, but what I see is the opposite. Their respect and admiration for each other, and that's a wonderful thing to see. It's nice to see the best out of humanity sometimes.
Definitely. I think what was really encouraging this year, obviously it was my first one, but for me, was watching two of our competitors. They actually are dating.
Yes.
They accompanied each other during the competition, and she ended up winning the whole competition, and he didn't place, but he was so enthusiastic, was so supportive, and just was so proud of her for her accomplishment.
Yes.
And so I think it was been really fun to watch their interactions together, and then of course the other competitors, because like you said, they see each other. It's like you go to an audition, a lot of the people who are in the audition usually, depending on the instrument.
And if a community member comes in and witnesses all this, and then they see the winner that's chosen and they perform with the RSO, that doesn't stop there. They can continue to see how this artist blossoms throughout their solo career. It can be a long journey for a community member too.
We always hope to see our competitors go off and do big and amazing things, as we talked about before, and we have had some who have gone off and now have big solo.
And for us to be a part of that, it makes me proud of our program.
And we definitely make sure we try to pick jury and judge members other than Clay. Obviously, Clay is on there.
Yes.
But we always try to have a really good selection and well-rounded professional musicians who are professors or play in the
Major
bigger orchestras.
Yes.
And this year will be a lot of fun. We have some really good jurors who are going to be here, and they're both from Texas. Last year we had people from the San Francisco Conservatory and just everywhere around the world. So it's a lot of fun.
The competition is well known all throughout the nation and throughout the world, because these competitors do find us.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun. We've really encouraged you to come. It's a good thing to do in the middle of winter when there's not much else to do. I guess it's a little different than Montana. It's not like we're snowed in.
I doubt the Dallas Cowboys will be playing in the playoffs, so you should come. I'm kidding. I'm a big Cowboys fan, so I want them to be in the playoffs.
We're not jinxing it, I promise. We'll see. And then I think one of the big things that, since I got here, that has been really fun for me is seeing, okay, we have these programs. What is our community missing? What can I add? What can we do? That isn't a lot for us strategically, but creates such a larger impact into our community. And one of those initiatives that we're focusing on for this next season is a musical story time. So it's for preschool age to second grade. That way we're getting the younger aged individuals. We'll be able to obviously have our third grade, and then we have our seniors that we are also hitting. But this is just a way for us to be able to introduce music at a younger age. It usually is just a string quartet. You have a narrator, and you have 3 children's books that the narrator will read through, sing through, and it's just so much fun. And it's just, we can get into homeschooling opportunity, like places, Head Start. We can go, again, Network of Community Ministries is really a big one. We can get into MOPS, and also I think one of the most fun ones that I've seen is the combination of bringing the young kids into a senior center facility and having it together with both of them, the seniors as well as these little cute tiny kids.
But both age groups across the spectrum of life can experience that together. That's the beauty of music too. That's when, what do we have in common? That's another thing. That's a big thing is music. Yeah. So nonverbal before you learn to talk, and if you have issues later in life, that's music touches everyone.
Absolutely. And it's just it's adorable when you see all these kids.
See their eyes brighten up.
Exactly. And if they know the books, usually you pick a book that they know, and then have a couple new ones. But it's such a fun time. So I'm really looking forward to that.
To put music to stories too, it's amazing, because your mind, that's why I love books too, is you can visualize in your own mind, and you add music to that. It just enhances what they're thinking.
Yes, exceptionally enhances it. And they'll memorize it faster as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is always a fun time. But if you in the community, if any of this sounds like anything you would like to support, we have plenty of opportunities, whether it's time, talent, or monetarily. Please get a hold of us, because it's just such an important facet of our community that, as one of the fishers of this community, we've been here for 64 years.
Right.
Of course, we want to give back to those who have helped support us throughout all of these years as well. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more behind-the-scenes stories and inspiring conversations. Prefer a podcast? Find us wherever you podcast. I'm Shauna Morin, and we'll see you at the Symphony.